What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jeremy Speaks, and I'm coming at y'all again today with another video. I ain't gonna even hold you.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? How's everyone? Know if y'all are like me, y'all aren't doing too well, huh? I wanted to talk to y'all today. And, everything that this possibly, could mean for you, for me, for us. So first, I guess we should talk about, some of my thoughts on why, we're in this predicament that we're in right now. So, first things first, Kamala and the Democrats campaign this election was just simply not good. It was not good. It was not. There were a lot of errors that they ended up making. And I really do feel like that is probably one of the most essential reasons why we have what we have now. Now, I'm going to go into some other things that I think about, a little bit after what I'm about to say, but first thing is first, like first reason is that the campaign was not good. When Kamala got put in the ballot, to become the presidential nominee, she had this outpouring of support from progressives, from people who were literally just excited to have something new, something refreshing, a new glance, a new look, a new thought process, potential opportunities to be heard and things like that. But as time progressed, especially after she brought on Tim Walls, it seems to me that they took a nosedive. One thing that I've noticed about Democrats is that they have a propensity to move towards the center right. So you get all of this progressive excitement, but then you go about spouting conservative views that align with Republicans. You want to have the most lethal military. You want to be more harder on the border. You don't want to stop fracking. You're going into all of these talking points that are Republican based. And no matter what anybody says, no matter what election that we've faced, the American people cares about the important things. We don't we don't care about, you know, $50,000 tax credits and stuff like that for small business owners because most of us don't have a business. Not saying that those things are not important, not saying that those things are not, you know, not a plus, but that's not what the talking points should have been. The talking points should have been healthcare, affordable housing, healthcare again, women's rights, LGBT's rights. Also stopping the genocide of Palestine. Those should have been talking points, but when Kamala decided to go to the DNC and say that Israel has a right to defend itself and that Palestine, you know, ravaged civilians at a festival, it it was not a good look. It was not good. It was very tone deaf. It was very disregarding of what that community, what that I don't know if it's a country, state. I can't. I'm not really sure. I don't know what you can consider Palestine to be at this point. But once she said that, it really did put the nail in the coffin for her. And if you were following me on not Instagram, but on Twitter, you would see you was able to see my reaction to her saying that. Because one thing about it, American people do not like wars. We don't like wars. We don't like contributing to genocide. We don't like endless wars, all of these weapon transfers. We don't like that. And her and Joe Biden and the Democratic Party definitely missed the mark because there were multiple times where they really could have put a spotlight on the Palestinian community and allowed their voices to be heard, but they ignored them. They ignored them. They offshooted them. It really didn't connect. And on top of you being a woman, on top of you being black, the last thing you want to be viewed as is tone deaf. Because why would they vote for a black, excuse me, centrist, right-leaning, Republican-esque Democrat when they could just vote a Republican, right? You got all of this excitement because you brought Tim Walz on the ticket. And immediately when you brought him on the ticket, you discarded his thoughts, his opinions, his beliefs, and every single thing that people were excited to have him, be considered a vice presidential candidate. You discarded all of that. All of those progressive beliefs that he has, those should have been the front line of what you were talking about. Okay, Donald Trump is a fascist. Okay, Donald Trump is a racist. Okay, Donald Trump is a white supremacist. At the end of the day, these people don't care about that. What they care about is inherently what matters to them most. Things being affordable, having health care, being able to afford a house before you're at the age of 56, those type of things. She was not in a very tough position. She was not in a very tough position. Because at the end of the day, if the progressive excitement that you're bolstering wants you to end the genocide, then you should be trying to end the genocide. What you should not be doing is backing or quietly backing Israel while they're literally blowing up children, women, men, infants, toddlers on social media before our eyes. I can't tell you how many times I looked on Twitter and I saw a video of a dismembered child. And another thing I feel is the reason that we lost is because the Democratic Party are just comfortable where they're at. The Democratic Party are comfortable where they're at. They don't want to shake the table. They don't want to change anything. They don't want to move anything. They don't want to they don't want to do anything to change the trajectory of where this country is going. It's constantly the Republican Party creating laws and initiatives to hinder us, and then we, run behind them trying to somehow fix it when everything is already set in motion. For Roe v. Wade not to be codified was a slap in the face. For for Biden not to decide to expand the Supreme Court was a choice. So now, especially since he didn't want to like expand it and add in more members that could balance out the right conservative Republicans that are in the Supreme Court, what we're seeing now is that as soon as as soon as Trump gets into office on January the 6th, two Supreme Court justices, Alito and Thomas, are going to step down. After that, two young, probably in their 30s or 40s, extreme Trump supporters are going to be placed in the Supreme Court judging on all of your rights, snatching them all away. They already peeled back, they already peeled back the affirmative action. They already peeled back Roe v. Wade. They already peeled back federal protections against workplace discrimination based on age, race, or gender or orientation. And no telling what's gonna happen now. There are always so many missteps that I see with the Democrats, and it's like it's like to me it feels like people are playing mind games with me, because you're sitting here telling me that you want all of this justice, all of this equality. That's what you're fighting for, but you are not being assertive in the things that you are quote unquote fighting for. Why is that? Republicans can do whatever they want. They can you know organize strategic plans and initiatives to get everything that they want set in place. But when it comes to the Democrats, they just sit idly by and just watch it happen. And then after whatever term is ended, they use that to to come to us and convince us to vote for them because they want to fight what's going on. They get donations, they get money, they get all of these things. They're going to be okay after all of this. They're rich. We're not. Another thing which is very surprising to me, which I still don't understand, is the overwhelming support from the Latinos for Trump. That's another reason why we ended up in this predicament. Now, I'm not very sure why Trump was leading a 12 a 23-point flip with Latino voters from the last election to this election, when he's literally saying that he's going to do mass deportations, bust in your house, take your mom, take your kids, put you in some type of camp and send you off somewhere, if they do send you off and it doesn't turn into concentration camps. But this is what y'all voted for. I really feel that another reason on top of that is because Kamala is black. when it comes to white people, I don't expect, like, I don't think you understand my thought process when it comes to, the Caucasian, faction of this country. I have no high expectations for them at all. At all. I was not, impressed with all of the white women spouting that they want their rights. Child, 69%. 69% of white women voted for Trump. Almost 70%. Because at the end of the day, it does not matter. It does not matter their rights. At the end of the day, what matters the most is the racial supremacy that they want to hold on to in this country. The last thing they wanted to see was a black woman running this, and probably not them. So, of course. And I'm not surprised that poor whites, rich whites voted for Trump either. At the end of the day, it all goes into racism because that's what this country is. It has never changed. It's never changed. But I also want to let y'all know that there was a 4% increase in black male votership for Trump this election from the last election. 4% of them, and I'm talking about nationally, 4% of black men increased in Trump voting. And I don't know, I don't know, I don't know what or how to feel right now. Like, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, this morning, I definitely cried. I definitely wept last night going to bed. I had to take PMs because I couldn't go to sleep. As the vote started to roll in, I started to get more and more and more worried, then started to get depressed, and then disappointed, and then just in shock, and then almost in mourning because I don't just I don't just worry for myself. I don't just think about myself when I'm thinking about elections. I think about children after me who are going to be born and have to be raised in this country. I think about the women that deal with the things that they were dealing with throughout history in this country. I think about my own community that has problems financially, because of this system that we've been injected into. I don't just worry for myself. I worry for everybody. And obviously I see that's a very unique experience to have, you know, in this day and age, because apparently, this country could give a fuck about anybody else besides their own personal interest, you know? And I don't really think that people are understanding the brevity of what is about to happen. There are so many similarities and parallels between Donald Trump's, rhetoric when it comes to immigration, when it comes to deportation, mass deportations, and the Holocaust in Germany. There's so many different there's so many different points at which they are aligning, where we're having a outcry or outpour of young conservative radical white and black men, and is really starting to mirror what I read about in history in regards to the beginning of the Holocaust. At this point, Ravine, I feel you, but I'm really I'm really at a point where I'm saying like, fuck everybody at this point. Why waste my energy? Why waste my spirit? Why tire myself relentlessly to fight for my own community that doesn't even want to fight for itself? Why why fight for minorities that don't want to fight for themselves? I don't I really don't have any words for this, to be honest. Mind you, I'm not low class or anything else like that. If anything, I'll probably list myself between, upper middle, going towards, upper high class, lower high class at this point in my life, as far as like, salary, what I get paid and things like that goes. So necessarily, this isn't really going to affect my bank at the end of the day. It's going to affect people who are lower than that. All of these black men who barely have shit going on for themselves, all of these black women who barely have shit going for themselves, all chose to be ignorant, uneducated. Latino voters don't give a fuck about black people and what they're going through, because according to the polls and according to the voter turnout, um Trump was gaining a lot of support from y'all. So, well, I'll exclude black women out of that, but I'm just talking about the rhetoric that I've been seeing in my own spaces. The shade room, the neighborhood talk, places where we typically look and speak to one another at, you know. So I'm letting y'all know. And then let's not even mention the fact that now the president has complete immunity when he's conducting quote unquote presidential acts, meaning that he can do anything that he wants to without any prosecution, without any criminal charges. He can order the government to go in your house and, shoot anybody who does not agree with him, and, nothing will happen. Not only that, but now he's going to get police immunity. And you don't think that can happen? Well, let me tell you this now, because we have a Supreme Court that's radical right, because we have a Senate that's radical right, because we have a president that's radical right, and because we have a House of Representatives that are radical right, all of those things will be happening. But I will let you know this: when y'all are getting shot in the street, when police are tap dancing on your necks, I won't say shit, because y'all don't give a fuck about nobody except yourselves. Barely even that, because if you did, you would have voted accordingly. I've never in my life thought that a man spouting out racist rhetoric towards the Latino and the black community would have garnered far more support than he did in the last election. That's insane to me. And, you know, justice for Palestine, of course, but just to let you know, if you chose not to vote in this election, I want to let you know that Israel is about to railroad Palestine even worse than before. Because if anything, Netanyahu wanted Donald Trump into office because they've had private meetings, which violates the Logan Act, but I guess nobody gives a fuck about that, right? I wish I was able to know everybody around me who voted for this man so I could delete these niggas out of my life. Like, not anything violence wise, but just cut all communication, block these people. Like, I wish I really knew which one of you motherfuckers did this shit. I really wish I did. And for some, and like, I don't know if you guys know, like, feel this as much as I do, but now I have a sense of paranoia around me right now because I don't know who to trust in my own country. And the fact that I feel that Kamala was being held to a higher standard than Donald Trump was is really pissing me off too. Like, I completely agree with all of the protests for Palestine. I agree that Palestine needs to be liberated and be their own self-autonomous, state. I agree with that. However, it's really strange to me how all of these Palestinian supporters badger Kamala but never once went to a Trump rally and did that same thing. Never once. So I want to see all of the pro Palestine protesters. I want to see them now going to Trump rallies, going to Trump press conferences, going to Republican conferences, and doing all of the same things that they did to Kamala and the Democratic Party as well. I want to see that. I want to see that. But y'all, I'm letting y'all know, like, I'm really not in a good headspace. I don't, I feel off by this. I'm scared. I'm nervous. I am uncomfortable. And I really think that y'all should be safe out. Y'all should really try your best to be safe out here because this country, all hell is about to break loose. Literally. Literally. But y'all, I gotta get back to work. I wanted to take a little bit of time and talk about this while I was on my lunch break. And for those of y'all who have not read Project 2025, I suggest you go do that and mentally prepare yourselves for what is about to happen because we're about to reach a very, very dark, we're about to reach a very, very dark time in this country. We're about to approach a very, very dark time. But, you know, hey, this is what everybody wanted apparently. He had the popular vote. He had the electoral college. He had all of those things. So, you know, who am I to argue with what America wants? But yeah, hope you guys be blessed. Hope you guys have a, well, I don't, anybody that voted for Trump, I don't want you to have a good day. I wish nothing good for you. But, for those of y'all who, and for those of y'all who voted for Jill Stein too, if you did that, or if you put in some weird shit on the ballot and you didn't actually vote for either presidential candidate, or you didn't vote at all, I wish nothing but the worst for you as well. But y'all have a nice day, okay? Be safe.